The situation in soy reminds me of the early days of Ethereum. There are a lot of investors, a lot of people that get hyped about the asset, yet not many people have tried the technology yet. Let's have a look at some adoption metrics. Let's have a look at potential data points most people are not considering to try to figure out where the price might be going from here. For example, have a look at this. We are looking at the trending tokens on the Soy chain ordered by their liquidity pool size, and today is a bearish day, so pretty much everything is down. But really, where I want to set your focus on is this. The 24-hour trading volume. It's 92 million. Is this a lot or is this a little? It's not that much actually. Because compare this to the Base chain. Base in the last 24 hours had almost 10 times the trading volume. The Binance Smart Chain had almost 100 times the trading volume. Solana has similar trading volume to the Binance Smart Chain. So really, the trading volume on Soy is comparable with Polygon Matic or Avalanche, which are blockchains that are rather in decline. So where's then all of that attention, all of that excitement around Soy coming from? When it's not usage of the blockchain, when it's not trading on the decentralized exchanges. Some metrics do look quite good. So this is the total value locked. So how much capital is in the Soy chain over time. This tends to go up over the years. And yes, we did have a decline in Q1 of this year. But once we measure this in Soy tokens, not in US dollars. And since beginning of the year, we tend to rather see an increased usage of the Soy chain. The question then is, how much does the usage of decentralized finance translate into price performance? So Soy price performance relative to other cryptocurrencies. One might expect that the price, relatively speaking, should be high in September of 2024 and it should be rather low in December of 2024 and now recover. What we've got over here is Soy relative to Bitcoin. At the beginning of September, Soy was rather cheap relative to Bitcoin, not expensive. At the end of December of 2024, when the total value locked measured in Soy was rather low, the price tended to be rather high. What's going on here? So it seems like other metrics are driving the price. Let's dig deeper. This is the decentralized trading volume on the Soy chain measured in Soy tokens over time. So in US dollars, we don't really see that much trading volume, right? Just 92 million. But measured in Soy, it still continues to slightly grow over time. So this is good. The reason why we want to have more trading volume is because trading volume translates into trading fees, and that translates into return for the people that provide capital to the chain. So the more activity there is on the chain, the more capital the chain can attract as well. So this long-term trend is good. The number of stablecoins on the chain also tends to grow quite quickly actually over time. We used to be at 300 million 1 year ago. Now we are at above 1 billion. Now this is not the first video on Soy on this channel. I publish videos regularly, and so I've got some insight on how much attention there is on the asset. Have a look at how the number of views on various Soy videos developed over time. So the average video is this area in gray, and this specific video is the line in blue. It's the very first one that was published 534 days ago. So this was an outperformer. The next video again outperformed. Then the video outperformed again. This was an average performer, again an outperformer, another outperformer. You get the gist, right? Most of those videos outperform. So there is a lot of attention on Soy. I publish videos on various altcoins regularly on this channel, so feel free to subscribe over here. But let's go back to the Soy data. What we're seeing over here is the Soy dominance. So we look at the market cap of all cryptocurrencies that are out there, and we compare the market cap of Soy to that total cryptocurrency market cap. So how dominant is Soy within crypto? How much does Soy outperform or underperform over time? And in Q3 and Q4 of last year, we saw a very nice rally. The Soy dominance increased from the bottom to the peak by more than 500%. Now we are somewhat in a trading range for the last 7 to 8 months. And we are on the lower end of that trading range. And maybe this is a potential opportunity because again, long term, it seems like the chain does get more usage over time, right? The total value locked measured in Soy is going up. But still, we haven't explained this disconnect here, right? Why did the total value lock peak and bottom at very different times to where the price relative to Bitcoin peaked and bottomed? I think the answer is leverage through perpetual futures. So short-term bets on the price. Soy Sui is the 13th largest cryptocurrency. So it's got 9 billion worth of market cap, roughly. But at the same time, it's the 7th most traded token in terms of open interest on the perpetual futures. So there was 4.6 billion worth of Sui changing the hands on the perp market. Most people that are betting on Sui via those perpetual futures are betting on rising prices. So the majority of people just want to get more price exposure. They just want to have levered exposure. When Sui is going up $1, they want to make $2. And the reason why I say this is because the funding rate tends to be positive most of the time. So the longs have to pay the shorts in order to get more exposure, in order to be with leverage in the asset. But that's then also what's driving the price. Because have a look at this. This is the open interest in green versus the Sui spot price in yellow. There's clearly some connection here, right? When there's more bets on the price, the spot market tends to follow and goes up as well. As there's a deleveraging, the spot market also goes down. And right now, it seems like most perp traders reduce their exposure to Sui. Now, whenever there's some extreme imbalance in the market, so a lot of people bet on rising prices massively, then the price might dump because it gets manipulated by the whales and the market makers. Same is true the other way around, right? When enough people bet on falling prices, the market makers might buy up the token and short squeeze people. And so that's how we see a lot of short liquidations when the price is rising. But really, in aggregate, for most altcoins, Bitcoin still continues to outperform. This is the Bitcoin dominance. So instead of looking now at the Sui dominance, we are looking at the Bitcoin dominance, a much more common metric. This is a chart that starts in 2017, and historically it peaked at around 71-72%. So this is when most capital was in Bitcoin and the altcoin market was very small. When then Bitcoin dominance crashes like this, it means that a lot of capital is flowing from Bitcoin into the alts. This is when we get altcoin season. Right now, we are still quite far away from the 72% mark. We're probably going to continue to see Bitcoin outperforming for at least the remainder of 2025. The outperformance, of course, comes mainly through Wall Street, so purchases from Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, and from the ETFs. When those purchases push Bitcoin up to new heights, and then Bitcoin doesn't have that much more upside potential, that's then when the media talks about crypto again. That's then when a lot of new people enter the space again. That's then when altcoin season starts again. Because those altcoins, they get bought by retail. They don't get bought by Wall Street. Wall Street just sticks with the safe bets, right? With Bitcoin, Ethereum, and soon maybe Solana, once the Solana ETF comes out. But as long as interest by the retail investor, by the average Joe, is very small, we're likely going to continue to see this kind of underperformance. So this is now the return of the smaller altcoins in the last year. And that was a year where Bitcoin went up by 50 to 60%. Yet most altcoins are red. Losses of 50% or 60% or 70, even 80 and 90%. How many of those small altcoins outperformed in the last year? It's maybe 4 to 5. So 95 out of 100 small altcoins just lost money versus BTC. And so this is where I think most people make a mistake. Most people then say, okay, I'm just buying Bitcoin and forget about the altcoins. But let's just have a look again at this imbalance. There's such a strong imbalance that it's very likely that in the future, again, we'll continue to see Bitcoin's outperformance, but we can make money from that, right? We can bet on relative valuations. It's not just that the majority of altcoins is going down, it's also the way how they underperform, how consistent it is. That's a potential opportunity. This here is the balancer token versus the US dollar. And yes, unfortunately, we do have our rallies here, right? This is 750% over here, or this is 150% over here. So it doesn't really look safe to bet on falling prices, even when something is going down like this, because still we do get our rallies every now and then. But then have a look at balancer relative to Ethereum. Now the rallies aren't that problematic anymore. They're much more muted. They are 60% over here, or there are 40% over here. And there are long durations where we simply continue to bleed down. And this is the way to make money. We want to flip this chart upside down. We want to make this performance. And of course, the reason why we see all of those altcoins going down and why we see this consistent underperformance is token inflation, right? It's the early investors that cash out, that get vesting unlocks. It's the team, it's the insiders. It's all of that token dilution that depresses the price of all of those altcoins. And yes, during a period when Bitcoin doubles, a lot of altcoins go up as well, but that's why we hedge against this, right? That's why we do relative valuation bets. I'm doing this strategy for almost 4 years now. So this is my personal return. On the x-axis, we've got monthly data points. And had I just bought and held Bitcoin, so had I just dollar cost averaged into the asset, I would have gotten this light gray return. But instead, I got the black return. Again, because of various strategies, including relative valuation bets. Now, our community members do the exact same thing, right? We are shorting the altcoins. We are betting on the bad tokens to continue to be bad, while we go long the solid tokens. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, to hedge out the general macro. And so individual trades can return a lot. But it's not necessarily those individual trades that matter. It's really the long-term performance. Now, I've made several tutorial videos on how to set this all up, how to actually make money in exactly this fashion. It's not just buying a token, right? This is going long and short at the same time. There is a little bit of financial engineering needed, but it's really not that complex. So there's a video over here using perpetual futures to bet on relative valuations. There's also a video just on risk management. It's half an hour because risk management is so important. You only want to open those kinds of positions if you also have stop losses running at the same time. There are actually many videos as part of the premium membership, right? thebitcoinstrader.com, link down below. But you don't have to watch them all. If you start off with the 2 videos just mentioned, you should be okay. Here's my performance trading perpetual futures in the last 2 months. I started with 40K and made more than 20% over those last 2 months. And I did make a mistake here with risk management. This should actually be much smaller, this drop, because I didn't set a proper stop loss. So after this correction, I made this tutorial as a consequence. And so feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. I'm sharing all of my trades, so you can just watch the tutorials and then copy trade me. If this is even too much effort for you, you can also consider potentially signing up for the annual membership. You will get some savings, so it will be $250 less per year. And I will also launch some beta copy trading, where you just have to deposit some stable coins, and then I will trade for you for 3 to 4 months until we've got the proper launch. But the very first launch of that copy trading, that will be for the annual subscribers only. A link to sign up for premium should pop up directly over here on that screen. Just click on that. It will lead you to the website. If it's the very first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish this regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube, or see you in premium. Cheers.